Well, simply put, Jennifer, it's time for change. That was the message today from Packers president Mark Murphy after firing Mike McCarthy last night after that loss to the Cardinals right here at home. But what that means is there's an immediate search for the team's next head coach. Do you think you could flip a coin 63 straight times and call it correctly? Heads. It was tails. Well, that's essentially what is needed to perfectly predict an entire March Madness bracket. But just what are those odds? Playing the Badgers is no walk on the beach either. Wisconsin's defense comes at you in waves. Adding even more character to this course is many of these golfers have donated their old Christmas trees, and those line the fairways. The Wildcats have a Baker on the ice, and so do the Badgers. Tarek Baker. I'm Alec Ausmus, live in what was a snow-covered Buffalo, New York. Why not add a blizzard to that March Madness mix? But the Badgers are here with experience on their side. It sounds like that winter weather is in full swing in Wisconsin right now. Well, down here in Miami, let me tell you, we had to go out of our way multiple times today to reapply sunscreen. Okay, it was a hassle. Yes, hello from Provo. That has a nice ring to it, right? Well, I'm standing outside Lavelle Edwards Stadium, home of the BYU Cougars, but this weekend it's also home to the Wisconsin Badgers for that first road trip of the season. Hey there, Lance. Yes, the obvious scouting report on playing Wisconsin this season is to contain Ethan Happ, and rightfully so. He's been named the Big Ten Player of the Week 3 straight times here to open the season.
As the Badgers look to bounce back.
Well, bouncing back, that's kind of the key word right now for the Badgers. And offensively, that's where I think the Badgers need to bounce back the most. Coming off arguably the worst game the Badgers have had offensively this year, and not just this year, but maybe in the last couple of years. Alex Hornibrook, not a great day for him. We know the stats, 7 for 20 for 100 yards. The last 3 times that Aaron Rodgers started all 16 games in a season, the Packers won at least 10 games and at least 1 playoff game. He made his 16th start of the season against the Lions today, but he didn't finish today's game. Because of this made three-pointer by Jeremy Lamb at the buzzer, the Hornets beat the Raptors tonight, making the Bucks' magic number to clinch the East just 4 games. Well, the Bucks hosted Cleveland today, and a long time coming. The number 8 jersey of former Bucks great Marcus Johnson was sent to the rafters at Pfizer Forum. For every three-pointer the Bucks make on their home floor this season, they will also plant a new tree in Wisconsin. There might be a new forest by the time this is all said and done. Now, they scored 144 points yesterday. That's the most in a non-overtime game since 1979. The Bucks attempted a franchise-high 56 threes, but they hit a franchise-best 22 triples. Everyone on the roster has the green light to shoot the 3-ball, and the players believe the NBA team record of 25, that's in reach.
I feel like we made a lot. I think we can make 25, 27.
On Super Bowl Sunday, the big game isn't always on a football field. How about a frozen lake? And who says you can't golf in February in Wisconsin?
The turnout used to surprise me, but now they show up. I think it's a challenge now.
Club selection is key.
Known as the Super Bowl of golf at Christie's Landing on Lake Waubesa, a 30-year tradition that is growing.
We don't know. We try to make it every Super Bowl Sunday, so we kind of look forward to it if the weather cooperates like it has.
Every year, the 9-hole course on the ice has different challenges. The warmer weather today made conditions a little thick.
It splattered all over my face, but...
Adding even more character to this course is many of these golfers have donated their old Christmas trees, and those line the fairways.
The setup only takes one morning, actually. Yeah. But we have people drop off Christmas trees from home. They get a free drink if they bring the Christmas tree in.
If you make it through a fairway, you never know exactly what the greens will have in store.
Course was a little challenging, a little wet. You know, I must have slept through the rain that we got, but she didn't drain very well today.
No doubt mulligans and redos were part of today's round. But who says you can't golf in February in Wisconsin?
Oh, what a beaut!
On Lake Waubesa, Alec Ausmus, 27 Sports. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect.
You're accenting the wrong note.
Even if practice can take a while, under the direction of a perfectionist. One of the all-time greats at UW isn't always a star football or basketball player. This time, it's an 81-year-old band director, Mike Leckrone, in his 49th year at the university.
I'm the old guy here. I can move faster than that.
Known for a military style of practice. But each week, the game day payoff performance is worth it. This season, Camp Randall Stadium is celebrating 100 years of history, and Mike Leckrone has been here for nearly half of it, transforming the sights and sounds of game day we know all so well. In the 1960s, the topics of conversation in the U.S. were the Vietnam War and civil rights movements. Marching in any kind of uniform wasn't popular. In the summer of 1969, Leckrone took over as the band director at UW. At the time, interest in the band was at an all-time low, but where many saw a weakness, Leckrone saw opportunity.
It wasn't a great time in our country's history to put on a uniform and march around, and that's what we were doing, but we sort of tried to catch the spirit of school spirit, and that's really what we banked everything on.
After Leckrone took over, interest in the band grew immediately. But the biggest change came with the new energizing physical marching style Leckrone calls Stop at the Top. Band members' feet come to a 45-degree angle and point their toes, a new style for its day back in the 70s that UW has perfected today.
I noticed that I didn't get the energy that I felt I should out of the band, and so what we did is we put a little hesitation. As you bring the foot up and before you put it down, there's that hesitation, the stop at the top. It also gave us some individuality.
Next came the music. Many of the songs traditionally played at Camp Randall were not invented by Leckrone. He mastered how to play them and when.
So we've taken what were great University of Wisconsin traditions and then just tried to play on them each time to make them more important and make them a part of what people expect. That expectation's very important to what we do.
Today, those expectations from Badger fans haven't changed.
Best marching band in the country.
I said anytime you can see Mike Leckrone on the ladder, it's a good day.
Leckrone hasn't escaped father time completely. He had open heart surgery earlier this year and lost his wife Phyllis of 62 years to illness back in August. It's his other love for doing what he does that keeps him coming back.
I don't look at what I've done as something that is a completion. There will be a point when it is complete. And then maybe I can look back and say, yeah, well, I was pretty good in those days.
From the marching style to the music, even a post-game concert that has turned into an event called the Fifth Quarter. Leckrone has transformed game day at Camp Randall, not with a football or a touchdown, but with music and a vision. In Madison, Alec Ausmus, 27 News. These boys of summer are trying to play their best on one of the worst weather days of spring. These players are parts of a club team for the University of Wisconsin. No fancy field, no stadium, just a love for the game.
Everybody's here to play baseball. Nobody's forcing you to play like high school, you know. You might just play because your friends play. Everybody's here to get the games in.
The UW is the only school in the Big Ten without a varsity baseball team. That ended in 1991, and for a variety of reasons, that isn't going to change anytime soon. But 27 years later, there's still big support for a UW team, and the game still has life-changing possibilities for students here, like Alexis Quintero.
Órale. Órale, más.
Quintero was born in Mexico City, Mexico, now a junior second baseman on the Badgers club team. But his journey here started when he was a child. He moved to the United States with his mother. Learning to speak English in elementary school was his first obstacle to overcome.
Trying to lose that barrier between English and Spanish was something that, I kind of had to do on my own while being in the mix with the kids.
But it was the language of baseball that helped him connect with his new home, and now prepared him for a life he never thought he would be able to achieve.
Having that, especially at Wisconsin, I love the school so much that being able to represent it, even as a club, has just meant everything to me. And I know it's meant everything to my family as well.
Uno. Hey, tenemos uno.
With a lot of talk about the border between the two countries, this team knows there's a common bond that can't be separated.
We gel together well. We got 25 guys who just are all a bunch of best friends, and it just makes it that much more fun.
Although these games aren't televised, he is able to keep in touch with his family back in Mexico and talk about baseball.
Jugamos bien y el equipo está haciendo, todos estamos ganando, entonces
And as he talks with his family about the pastime he loves so much, his eyes are on his future and how Wisconsin and a school with just a small club team is preparing him for a future he could only dream about.
I know where I came from, and I know my family and where they came from, so being able to kind of incorporate that with the team, you know, is something pretty special.
In Madison, Alec Ausmus, 27 News.